Heading.
Here we go.
Pete, start with you when you're ready.
Thank you, Daniel. Hi, Pete Graves from Sky. Hope you're well. Nice to see you. Where do I start? Big game on Saturday.
Yes, obviously we were a bit disappointed after the cup result, but always have a chance even against the best sides, and for that we want to prepare in the best possible way and are also excited about this game. Yes.
Talk about playing the bigger teams, maybe when they're a little bit after a big game, perhaps Champions League game. Newcastle are going to be without Alexander Isak. Anthony Gordon got suspended the other night. A few injury problems as well, so they might not be full strength. But will you be looking to take advantage of that?
Well, I've watched the game on Monday. They were, I think it's fair to say, they were with 11 men the better side and also with 10 men the better side. And even after the red card, after Tonali was out, after Joe Linton was out, they were still the better side because they have also a squad in order to react when there are injuries. It's a bit more the other way around. So for us, Islam Padu is not available for this game. Tanaka is not available for this game. We had them both available, really both key players for us. In the first game fixture against Everton, we were there with a win. I think it's also fair to say, perhaps in the last two games, for us it's a bit more difficult to replace players of this caliber, at least for us in comparison to a squad that is more or less equipped for playing in the Champions League. For that, I wouldn't interpret too much into it. I think in this terms that key players are missing. It's quite even. For us, perhaps even a bit more difficult to replace our key players in comparison to the Newcastle squad. But sometimes you can't choose, and for that we accept this as well, and we go with what we've got for this game and try to win as many points as possible.
You talk about the strength of the squad. 4 days left in the transfer window. Obviously, there's a couple of outgoings today, I believe, as well. But still looking to bring someone in, maybe to the squad to help strengthen you going forward.
We were always open and transparent of what we are doing. We wanted to strengthen on all positions. I think we have more or less in the defense, goalkeeper position, fullback position, central midfield, our additions that we wanted, and we made no secret out of this. That till the last day of the window, we will look also to strengthen our offense a bit more. We've done this in the past days, also with Dominic and with Noah. But we're trying also perhaps in this area to strengthen our squad a bit more. Yes.
And just finally from me, I think if I probably asked you at the start of the season, out of the first 3 games, the most important one to win, I imagine you would have said that first home game against Everton, which you won at Elland Road. And I just wonder how important the home fans are going to be. Elland Road, there's a great support you have of this football club moving forward, and how important is it that you make Elland Road a fortress?
Would have chosen any game, to be honest, because each point matters and each point has the same value. So for that, of course, I liked also that we won the first home game also with a clean sheet and with a top performance, gave confidence. And for a newly promoted side, it's always crucial that you become a fortress at home and win many points at home. But wherever we find the points and we can pick them up and we win them, we take this, because in the end we know we need more or less a point average of 1 per game. Then we have a great chance also to break the curse, to be the first of the promoted sides who doesn't go back straight away. I mean, I know it's a big challenge and a long road. We are only on 3 points. This is quite good, but 3 points won't be enough. So we have to make sure in each of the home game we fight for the other points. But believe me, we will also do this in the away games.
Daniel, Isaac Schmidt looks like it's very for him, and Valencia for Largie Ramazani. You wanted 2 offensive players to come in. Is it realistic to have those 2 players gone, to have 2 more players in by Monday night?
Yes, first of all, it's not confirmed yet, but it's right. But I can confirm that we have allowed Largie and Isaac also to travel for also talks with other clubs. So it's not confirmed yet, at least not as we're talking, but we expect that this will happen. And again, so for us, our main focus also like to strengthen our offense. Yeah, how realistic it is, I think it makes no sense right now that I give you a percentage or whatever. But yes, we're looking forward to strengthen our offense a bit more. And if this is 1 or 2 more signings, we will see. So whatever is possible, we've spoken about. We want the best possible squad, and for that, I think everyone in the club is working also very hard on it. That we try to provide this also in the upcoming days. Yes.
Looking in the fullback area, we know how you feel about Sam Byram. He was given the armband of the day. Bogle come on, scores. He showed all his attributes, if you like. Goodmanton's made a great start here. So where does James Justin see himself now that he's arrived?
Yes, we had honest talks about it. That it's also not easy for him because we have good competition on the fullback position. But this is what you need on Premier League level. We see right now with 1 or 2 injuries in the position, you are sometimes under pressure. And James Justin is a proven Premier League player. He has many appearances there. He's also capped for England, so it's not like you win this in the lottery. So we know he's also, what I like about him, he's flexible. He can play on the right back position, can play on the left back position. He's a pretty all-round fullback, so also he adds goals and assists also, but it's also good in defending, a top-class character, and further on also in a top age. So we are pretty pleased to have also this character and also this proven player in a really good age right now together with us, and definitely an important teammate. Yes, and competition is on. Whoever delivers will play. And this is how it should work in professional football. And I'm pretty glad that we have more competition and more quality competition right now, also on the fullback position.
What's your thoughts on your midfield for this weekend? Dan, obviously the 2 key players, definitely.
Yes, it's of course a bit tricky because we spoke about the value of Easton, and also how for us there's no doubt about this. It's a bit thin, but we'll find some solution. We have also a chance perhaps to set up the midfield slightly different. We'll see what we do, so I won't speak too much in public before. Because I'm pretty sure that Newcastle also watches perhaps what I say today. So for that, I don't want to give too much away, but we still have some options. And for that, we are also quite confident that we sent a good starting lineup on the pitch on Saturday.
And looking at the opponents, I mean, looking at last Saturday, Arsenal bring on 3 right backs in the end, with Ben White missing, all of them equally as good. You look at the midfield and Odegaard, the change there, equally as good. Would you class Newcastle with the same strength and depth as somebody like an Arsenal?
Obviously, they have a few problems right now to the situation around Isaac, and also due to the injury situation. But overall, I think Eddie Howe has done an incredible job because I like a lot what he does. And for me, a quality manager is always defined over delivering over a long-term period. And this is what he does more or less in all his last clubs. So it's not like he has just one good month or one good season. He delivers really with consistency. And I think he has done an incredible job, and also has in his time also improved the squad also in depth. And for me, if you are able to the reigning champion, to dominate the champion in a game, although you play then more or less for the whole second half just with 10 men and also many injury problems during the game, and you still deliver such a performance, this is more or less a proof that you have a top group together. And they for them is also that there is no limit right now. They play on the highest level, on Champions League level, of course. If you have a bit more experience and play a few more years there, I think it's then also a bit easier to speak about the consistency, but it's a bit difficult to compare at the moment. I think it's fair to say if you finish in the top 4 after a long season of 38 games, then they definitely deserve to be in the top 4. And currently, they belong to the best group and top draw of English football.
Hi Daniel, Katie from PLP here. I know you've said previously that Dominic Calvert-Lewin needs more minutes to sort of keep building up his fitness. He had quite a lot of chances on Tuesday night. Do you think it's a matter of time before it really clicks for him?
Yes, of course, everyone wishes for a dream start, and you come in after such a long break and then you score the winner and yet the chances to do it. Everyone is only singing his name, but football is not like dreamland. So sometimes you have to work for it, and I was quite pleased with this. I think 40 minutes under his belt. He had a long summer break, then more or less 6 weeks of just individual training. And right now he's since 12 days in team training. And you can see him growing more or less from day to day. So first of all, we built up his fitness to be also resilient against injury. So he was taking part in all our team training sessions. But we forced him also to do some additional work and a little mini preseason for him. But I think this 40 minutes were pretty important also for him to have this under his belt. And I quite like that he showed straight away his instinct to be exactly there where a striker should be. And I wouldn't judge it in any way negative that he missed the chances. Of course, it would have been a dream start for him if he would have scored the goal. It was a bit more the other way around because he missed a few chances and also the penalty. But for me, it's more like when it comes down to the really important games, and these are the games on Premier League level, we want to have him really fit. Of course, the international break will also help him because it's 2 more weeks of training. But also right now, I see him capable of playing a few minutes, because what I like that even in his first appearance after such a long time, he showed the striker instinct and was 3-4 times already in the situation where he can score. So this is something that you have to have as a striker, and he's blessed with this. You can't learn this instinct to know where you have to be, where there is more or less the crunch time area. And I was glad that he was there and had the chances. Yes, we'll be even more happy if he puts them to bed anyhow. And I'm pretty sure when he gains full fitness, he has the capability also to do this, and then he will prove that he's a very important player for us.
And Noah Okafor obviously made his debut against Arsenal. Did you like what you saw from him in particular, and what would you like to see more of from him?
I think there were glimpses of his class. So he brought himself into good situations. I think even in the first half and also in the second half, I think had a great chance and should have scored in this situation, should have taken one more touch anyhow, because normally it's a strength of him to score also in this situation. I think he also showed that he's capable to beat also with his pace and his creativity and his strength in dribbling players in 1-against-1 situation. He can do this more often and even a bit more brave, but was also his first game in the starting lineup for us. So for that, I didn't expect that he would win this game all alone. So for that, I would say a solid start, but also space for improvement. I also have to add and to say that he's more or less the only player who came out with a few doubts for this game, because after the game he spoke about some groin problems. So everyone came through the last game without any problems. Noah is more or less the only major doubt for the game at the weekend. So we'll see if he's available also for this game.
Thank you.
Great.
Hi Daniel. When you look back, I mean, I haven't had much time this week, but when you look back at the Arsenal game, did you do anything differently in terms of team selection or approach, or did it teach you anything about your team?
Well, after you lose a game, you would change everything, like I mentioned. So, sometimes perhaps you spend so much time on how to defend set piece, but if you concede out of this, you say, okay, instead of having a special setup, next time you send 7 players up anyhow, because it can't get worse anyhow. And this is also like when you lose a game, you would try everything if you would have the chance to do it in a different way. Because it can't get worse than to lose a game. So after game, it's always easy to speak about, but it's more or less like the decisions we had to take before the game. I would do immediately the same, because you have to decide how to set up, on which topics you concentrate, how the team selection should be. I would go exactly for the same scenario, because. It's also like this was more or less the group who has played really well against Villarreal, who was really dominant against AC Milan, who had a clean sheet win against Everton at home. And if you then, without having pressure to do this, would change more or less this winning or successful squad anyhow, or this successful starting 11, everyone would question then after a loss against Arsenal also like, why is he going away from his winning formula? So after game, it's always like, yes, after loss, you would try to do it if you would have the chance in a different way, but you have to decide before the game. And due to this scenario, I would go exactly for the same way, yes.
You've got all these giants running around now. This season, do you put more emphasis on set-piece goals, and do you spend more time on it than you did last season when you had so much technical superiority in the league and you could score goals from anywhere?
I think also last season the focus was also pretty much on set piece. We were the side with the most set piece goals in the whole championship. So sometimes with our fluent football, you forget about this. It's also a strength of us, and of course we want to explore this even a bit more during this season, because set pieces are an important topic, especially for a newly promoted side. But I also don't like to make too much out of the story that we just signed giants or whatever. Yeah, we have signed 2 centre backs. Yeah, that the 2 centre backs for the Premier League are not 5 foot tall. It's quite normal. We've signed a goalkeeper. Yeah, that he should be a bit bigger than 4'7", and is also clear. We signed 2 strikers that they should have a proper appearance, and is also clear. And yes, with Anton Stach, we wanted to add a bit more physicality in midfield. It was always the plan, but when I have a look on our starting lineup, also, for example, against Everton, or also against Arsenal, also in the cup game. Yeah, we've started with Willy Gnonto, with Daniel James, with Joel Pirou, with Jayden Bogle, with Ao Tanaka, with Islam Padu. So I wouldn't say they are giants and just unbelievably good at headers. So I wouldn't say that we are extraordinary. I think the spotlight on the signings was a bit more out of the situation. Okay, our first signings were centre backs, goalkeeper, also proper central target strikers, and then it's quite normal that you don't have 4'7" signings. I think it was a bit overrated, but nevertheless, the topic that you mentioned, that we concentrate on this area is definitely a fact. Yes.
When it comes to Noah, I believe he's the youngest you've signed this summer at 25. While he's already at a good level, is there also one eye on the future and what potentially could grow into as well?
Yes, of course. So, like I mentioned, we want players who are more or less proven on a good level, and Noah has played many games on Champions League level, has scored for Red Bull Salzburg. He has played for big clubs, also in Italy, has scored there, and this is good because he's proven on a top level. But also to show this with consistency, then, for example, also in the best league in the world, is something you have to prove. And for that, in this age, 25, he can find this consistency and has to improve as well. Also in different areas, and we also spoke with him about this before we signed him. And if we commit also to, I know nowadays it's not much money what we have spent, and perhaps for many of the other clubs it would have gone through like, okay, it's more like just a project. For us, it's relatively a high amount that we've spent on him. If we do so, we expect then also that he plays also an important part in the future and can develop into something, and also hopefully can raise his value. So we wouldn't spend much money on a 36-year-old who has just 1 year to go. So for that, it's, of course, the focus is on the here and now, and on this level you have to deliver straight away. But one eye is also, if we commit for us to a big sum of money, is also like we want at least to keep his value, or perhaps even to improve his value. This is also quite important, yes.
Thank you. When we spoke in Germany, we talked about the good communication relationship with Adam this summer. When it comes to this point in a transfer window, and again towards like sort of the back end of it, how much contact do you have with Adam? I'm presuming it's daily, or is it twice a day? Do you have regular meetings? What does that look like?
Depends. Once, twice a day, sometimes it's 20 times a day, so it depends on. So when there's a game day, he leaves me a bit in peace that I concentrate on football. But when it's a busy day, yesterday, for example, no secret, it was a busy day, many decisions to make. It could also be that whatever he comes 6 times into my office, or I go once or twice into his office, and it's more like the last telephone call is pretty close to midnight. So it works in this way, busy time. So I'm leading a pretty privileged life. So I don't complain about this. Also, by the way, I like to speak to Adam. He's a nice guy also to speak about this. So for that, not a problem. I still can concentrate on football, but there is no rule anyhow that we just have whatever, just 1 hour fix or whatever. So when it's necessary to talk 20 times a day, we do this as well.
I don't think there's any surprise that you've let Largie go because of the quantity of options you've got, and obviously Largie needs to play football. Can you explain to us why Largie might be down your pecking order compared to the other options you've got? Is there something that he hasn't been able to do or isn't suitable for this season in the Premier League for you?
So you would hear one bad word from myself right now about Largie, especially not once he is pretty close also to leave. I think this would lack class, and is also not my honest opinion, because I think he's an unbelievable human being. He was always professional when he was here. He showed also his talent and his potential, especially also in the last game days when we were celebrating, and was such a great teammate, and he has also delivered what we wanted. He has had some goals and some assists, perhaps not with this consistency that the competition on his position has done, like Manu Solomon or Daniel James, or also Willy Gnonto, but Largie also played an important part. Yeah, what is fair to say that is he didn't have the major amount of minutes in comparison to the competitors in last season in the championship, and we spoke about that we want in this position even to improve right now for the Premier League. And of course, and it's on this level even more difficult for him, if it was already difficult on championship level to get more minutes, to get this, especially once we also want to improve on this position, enough minutes on Premier League level. And Largie is also a player who needs confidence and consistency in order to bring the best out of him. And I think it's also fair to say when you play a lot in the opponent's half, and then he can work his magic and his creativity, and he can be then outstanding close to the opponent's goal because he always does the unexpected, and this is a big strength. I think sometimes also, like for a newly promoted side, a few other attributes and skills are necessary. But again, so you won't hear one bad word from me for Largie. Feel pretty honored and blessed that I was allowed to work with him for the whole year. So we had also a great relationship, and could always count on him. I really wish him, really from the bottom of my heart, just the best, because he deserves it. Great teammate, also great human being, and really good football player. I hope he can show this right now also in Spain. And if this will be confirmed, then in a few hours, and fingers are crossed for him, he's a great footballer.
If you are going to have the one or two attacking reinforcements that you would like in an ideal world, does that then mean that players like Brendan or Jack may be allowed to go out and get minutes in a similar way for the similar reasons?
We want competition right now, and right now let's see what really will happen during this window. I think it's too early to speak about and to judge what happens, but as it stands, they're pretty much in my plan. So it was also no coincidence if it wouldn't be in my plan. Wouldn't have started them both in the last cup game, also in the Everton game. They came into the game, and it's also fair to say that they inspired the game and played an important part that we won this game also in the end. So for that, they are also pretty close. And also pretty important for our group, and you need competition on this level. It's not at the moment that our group is too big, so for that I don't expect that there will be more outgoings. Again, on this level, when something crazy comes, you can never rule anything out on this level. But as it stands, we don't plan with this now.
Thank you. We're going to do the next questions under embargo, if it's okay to turn cameras off, please.